everybody, this is Mary Telfest here, and today I'm going to be making some vegetarian meatballs. These meatballs are actually what we call lacto-vegetarian, and the reason for that is they contain eggs, and they also contain cheese, so they do contain products in them that are not completely vegetarian, but they're a great substitute and a way to move from a meat-eating diet to a vegetarian diet. And so these are the actual meatballs that I like to bring when we have, get-togethers. It's a great introduction to vegetarian cooking. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of cracking the eggs and putting them in a blender. This works out if you have a blender, because as you'll see, we're going to be using some whole things like these whole pecans that I have right here, and you can also use walnuts if you'd like, and so it helps to get them chopped up really, really fine, and that way you don't even know they're in there. The other thing I'm going to add into the blender is the garlic. And as you see, I have a whole clove of garlic here. It is a great vitamin C product, great for, getting rid of all of that, the cold season stuff and everything. So it's full of some great stuff there for you. So I'm just going to put this right onto my blender and throw the cover on, like you see here, nice and tight. And then I'm going to begin to whiz it, and you'll see it'll this is really pretty much done blending now. So we're going to take our mixture that we have here, and as you can see, this is really soupy in there, and it's just kind of swirls around, and I'm going to pour it into our bowl. This is the base that we're going to use to start our meatball mixture. So what I'm going to add to this at this point in time is some grated Parmesan cheese. This is a cup that I have here, and don't worry about it. I'll give you the recipe at the end of this video so that you'll have it for yourself. So a cup of Parmesan cheese, and also about a cup and a quarter of oatmeal. Great vegetarian product. Let's just put that in there. And let me just grab a spoon over here. And we're just going to mix this all up until it makes kind of a creamy consistency. Now what I like to do at this point in time is just let it set for about a minute and allow the whole wet product to absorb the oatmeal. This just gives it a nice texture to begin working with before we form it. So we'll do that now. Okay, so as you can see, this is set for just a little bit, and it's quite thick consistency compared to what we started out with the runny, soupy stuff. So I'm going to add some flavored breadcrumbs to the mixture, and we're going to just add enough to make it into a thick consistency that I can form a ball with. So it's just kind of a way of looking and seeing. You want it to be somewhat sticky, but you don't want it to be too wet. This is a real key here, and it's very hard to give the amount of these flavored breadcrumbs, the Italian flavored, because it all really depends on how your mixture thickens up and, what things look like by the time that you get done mixing everything together. But this is about it right here. So I just wanted to show you this texture. It's just enough to kind of form something, but not enough so that it's so gooey that you can't put it together. So I'm just going to add just a tiny bit more to that. I like it to be just a little bit drier. So there you have that. And let me just show you how you form these meatballs, because they're not like a regular type of meatball where you kind of roll it in your hands and it forms. These are a little different. they're more of like, you take it in your hand and squeeze, 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 and I'm just transferring it from one hand to another, just like this. It's like playing ball, until I have the shape of a meatball. And you really don't want it too big because you want it to be able to cook in the middle once you get it onto the stove. So here again, I just pick up a clump and I play ball. I pass it from hand to hand, and while I'm passing it, I'm squeezing it until it forms the ball. So it's a pretty easy thing to do. A lot of people get confused at this point in the recipe because they want to go like this. And actually, this particular one doesn't work too bad like that, but I've seen some where it really doesn't work. So I like the squeezing motion a little bit better for this recipe. So again, I just kind of go hand in hand and I squeeze until it comes to the right point. And I guess we'll just demonstrate one more time here, and then I'll work on the rest of the batch. There you go. There you have it. Okay, so here we have them all formed, and this is what they look like when they're all formed, but now we're just going to cook them up on the stove a little bit. I'm going to take this dish now, and over here I have my crock pot going with some good Italian sauce in there. So have that kind of on high and ready to go. So just take your meatballs and drop them in. And I like to prepare this and then turn it on my crock and go away for a few hours and then come back and they're steaming hot and just so delicious, because I like to take it with me to different functions and stuff. But if you're just making it at home and you're going to be home all afternoon, you can just put your favorite sauce, whatever it is, on the stove and do the same thing that I'm doing right now. Just put the meatballs in and basically, just let them cook up for a while and simmer. And when you're done, you're going to have some delicious meatballs, Italian style, but also completely vegetarian. Okay, so these meatballs are definitely ready. And as you can see, I prepared my whole grain pasta on the plate with definitely, you want some great greens to go with this, because salad goes great with pasta and meatballs, and anytime you can get your greens in, you definitely want to do that. So I would serve it with a nice salad and a whole grain pasta, and you just want to grab some of these meatballs and serve it on top like that. Doesn't that look good? So, this is a really great transition into a vegetarian diet. You can add this recipe once a week and just skip that meat dish for the week. And also, if you just like to try a nice vegetarian cuisine, I think you'll really enjoy these. Have healing health, everybody.